Greetings all, and welcome back to a new episode. I know many of you use these videos to help you sleep, so before we begin, I thought it would be fun for everyone to say hello and leave a comment letting me know where in the world you're tuning in from. Your engagement really makes this channel special. And hey, if you enjoy getting your nightly dose of thrills and chills with us, why not hit that subscribe button below? It's the best way to never miss out on the latest terrifying tales. So kick back, relax, and let's get started. The drone of the cicadas was the only sound as I wrestled my backpack into the tin. Solo backpacking in the Smoky Mountains wasn't for the faint of heart, but the promise of solitude and soul-searching appealed to me after a brutal year. As dusk settled, painting the dense forest in shades of inky blue, a strange unease prickled my skin. The cicadas abruptly fell silent, replaced by an unsettling stillness. Ignoring the prickle of unease, I built a fire, its crackling warmth a feeble barrier against the encroaching darkness. Sleep came in fits and starts, plagued by dreams of unseen eyes peering through the trees and whispers that slithered like unseen snakes. Dawn brought little relief. The usual symphony of birdsong was absent, replaced by an unnatural quiet. Venturing deeper into the woods, I stumbled upon a sight that sent chills down my spine. A clearing dominated by a gnarled oak, its branches twisted into grotesque shapes. Hanging from these branches, like macabre marionettes, were animal carcasses, squirrels, rabbits, their bodies drained of blood, a single, milky white eye staring accusingly. Panic surged through me, a primal fear urging me to turn back. But a morbid curiosity propelled me forward. As I approached the oak, a metallic tang filled the air, acrid and cloying. Suddenly, a twig snapped behind me. Whirling around, I saw nothing but dense foliage, the silence pressing down like a physical weight. Taking a shaky breath, I reached out to touch the oak's rough bark. A jolt of energy shot through me, a sickly sweet taste flooding my mouth. Pulling back my hand, I screamed. Etched into the bark, glowing with an eerie luminescence, were strange symbols that seemed to writhe and pulsate. Terror rooted me to the spot. A low growl echoed through the trees, a sound that sent shivers down my spine. From the undergrowth emerged a creature unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was humanoid, but emaciated, its skin stretched taut over its skeletal frame. Luminous yellow eyes, filled with an insatiable hunger, burned in its sunken sockets. It spoke in a voice that seemed to emanate from everywhere and nowhere, a rasping whisper that promised oblivion. "Lost soul," it hissed, "the offering has been prepared. Now, you join the collection." Just as it lunged towards me, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. Whipping around, I saw a figure emerge from the trees. An old woman, her face etched with wrinkles and wisdom, brandished a staff adorned with strange symbols. The creature recoiled from her, a flicker of fear in its eyes. "Leave this place," the woman rasped, her voice surprisingly strong. "It is not yours to claim." Taking advantage of the distraction, I bolted. The creature shrieked in frustration, but the woman held it back, her staff glowing with an otherworldly power. I didn't look back until I burst out of the tree lane, collapsing onto the familiar gravel of the parking lot. Back in civilization, the horrors of the woods seemed like a fever dream, but the metallic tang lingered in my mouth, a chilling reminder. I sought out a local historian, a man who specialized in the area's forgotten lore. He listened to my story with a grave expression. "The Oak of Offerings," he confirmed, his voice laced with dread. "An ancient place of power, rumored to be a gateway to a realm of hungry shadows." He explained the symbols, a binding ritual used to trap unwary souls and fuel the entities within. The woman, he believed, belonged to a lineage of protectors, guardians who kept the veil between worlds thin enough to monitor, but strong enough to resist a full breach. The thought of those glowing symbols, the metallic tang, and the hunger in the creature's eyes sent shivers down my spine. The encounter had changed me. The solitude I craved had revealed a darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of our world. The Smoky Mountains held a secret, a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. The rhythmic click of my hiking poles echoed through the dense Alaskan wilderness. Alone on a multi-day backpacking trip, I reveled in the solitude, the towering spruce trees forming a cathedral of whispering needles. But as dusk settled, casting long, skeletal shadows, a disquieting silence descended. The usual symphony of birdsong was absent, replaced by an unsettling stillness that pressed down on me like a physical weight. Setting up camp, I felt a prickle crawl up my neck, a primal unease I couldn't shake. The air grew thick with the cloying scent of rotting vegetation, a stench that clung to my clothes and lodged itself in my throat. Sleep came in short, troubled bursts, punctuated by dreams of unseen eyes peering through the trees and guttural growls that echoed in the darkness. Dawn brought little relief. The silence remained, broken only by the unsettling snap of a twig under unseen weight. Venturing deeper into the woods, I stumbled upon a sight that sent a jolt of terror through me. A clearing dominated by a colossal, ancient spruce, its bark etched with strange symbols that writhed and pulsated under the weak morning light. Hung from its gnarled branches were dozens of small, intricately carved wooden dolls, their vacant eyes staring accusingly. Panic surged through me. A crow landed on a nearby branch, its gaze fixed on me. As I watched, it cocked its head, and in a raspy voice that mimicked a human child, croaked, "Lost soul, welcome." Terror choked me. I stumbled backward, tripping over a root and collapsing onto the damp earth. The crow cawed again, a chilling sound that echoed through the silent woods. Suddenly, a guttural growl shattered the silence. From the undergrowth emerged a creature unlike anything I'd ever seen. It was vaguely humanoid, its fur a matted black, its eyes burning with an unnatural red light. Its long, sharp claws scraped against the forest floor as it lumbered towards me. Adrenaline surged through me. Scrambling to my feet, I bolted deeper into the woods, the creature's heavy footsteps pounding behind me. Thorns ripped at my clothes, branches whipped at my face, but I didn't dare look back. My lungs burned, my legs ached, but the primal fear of being hunted fueled my desperate flight. Just as I thought I couldn't run another step, I burst out of the trees into a clearing dominated by a small, ramshackle cabin. Smoke curled from its chimney, a beacon of hope in the desolate wilderness. Desperate, I pounded on the weathered door. It creaked open, revealing a wizened old woman, her face etched with a lifetime spent battling the harsh elements. "Help me," I gasped, collapsing onto the threshold. The woman, her eyes filled with a knowing sadness, ushered me inside. Over a steaming mug of herbal tea, I recounted my horrific encounter. She listened patiently, her lips pressed into a thin line. "The Wendigo," she said finally, her voice raspy with age. "An ancient evil that preys on the lost and lonely." She explained the symbols on the tree. A trap to lure unsuspecting souls, the dolls a twisted mockery of human connection. The crows, she revealed, were the Wendigo's eyes and ears, their mimicry a chilling reminder of its cunning. Relief and terror warred within me. Knowing the name of my pursuer didn't diminish the fear, but it offered a sliver of understanding. The woman, a hermit who had lived in the Alaskan wilderness for decades, offered me a way out. A hidden path, she explained, could lead me back to civilization, but it was fraught with danger. The next few days were a blur of exhaustion and terror. Following the woman's cryptic instructions, I navigated treacherous terrain, haunted by the ever-present fear of the Wendigo's return. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I emerged from the tree lean, collapsing onto the familiar gravel of a park ranger station. Back in civilization, the horrors of the Alaskan wilderness seemed like a fever dream. But the nightmares lingered, the red eyes of the Wendigo, the cawing crows, the accusing stare of the dolls. The park rangers, skeptical at first, grew concerned upon hearing the details of my experience, particularly the location of the clearing and the Wendigo's description. Days turned into weeks, and my story reached a local historian specializing in Alaskan folklore. He confirmed the existence of the Wendigo, a malevolent entity fueled by isolation and despair. He also revealed the legend of the hermit protectors, solitary individuals who safeguarded remote areas from the encroaching darkness. The rhythmic hiss of the camp stove was the only sound that dared to pierce the oppressive silence of the Alaskan wilderness. The sun dipped below the jagged peaks, casting long, skeletal shadows that danced across the canvas of my tent. A seasoned backpacker, I'd prided myself on my ability to handle solitude. But tonight, in this remote corner of Denali National Park, the isolation felt suffocating. As darkness deepened, an unsettling symphony began. From the dense spruce forest surrounding my campsite came a chorus of clicks, chirps, and rustles. A cacophony that seemed to hold a hidden language, one that sent shivers down my spine. Sleep came in stolen moments, haunted by dreams of glowing eyes peering through the fabric of my tent and an unseen presence brushing against the nylon walls. Dawn brought little relief. The unnerving symphony continued, punctuated by the occasional guttural growl that seemed to emanate from the heart of the forest. Ignoring the prickle of unease that crawled up my neck, I set off to explore the area, hoping the daylight would dispel the unsettling feeling. Within a few hours, I stumbled upon a sight that sent a jolt of terror through me. A hidden clearing dominated by a colossal spruce, its bark intricately etched with strange symbols that pulsed with an eerie inner light. Hung from its gnarled branches were dozens of small, furtive animal figurines, carved from a bone-white material. Their empty sockets seemed to bore into me with an unsettling intensity. Panic threatened to consume me. As I backed away, a dark shape flitted across the clearing, a raven, its obsidian feathers gleaming in the weak sunlight. It landed on a nearby branch, tilting its head to regard me with an unsettling intelligence. In a raspy voice that mimicked a human child, it croaked, "Lost, are you?" The sound of my own gasp echoed in the clearing. Terror fueled my escape. I bolted through the undergrowth, the chilling caw of the raven echoing behind me. Thorns ripped at my clothes, branches whipped at my face, but I didn't dare look back. The guttural growls from my dreams seemed to manifest in the real world, urging me on. Just as I thought I couldn't run another step, I burst out of the tree-line and onto a gravel path. Relief washed over me so intense I almost collapsed. Following the path, I eventually stumbled upon a ranger station, a beacon of civilization in the vast wilderness. The rangers, weathered and kind-eyed, listened patiently to my frantic account. Their initial skepticism melted away as I described the clearing, the carvings, and the raven's chilling mimicry. A grave expression settled on the older ranger's face. "The Whispering Woods," he muttered, the name itself a chilling whisper. He explained the legend of a malevolent entity that dwelled within the forest, a creature fueled by isolation and despair. Known as the Kalapalik, it used the symbols on the spruce to lure unsuspecting souls, and the carved figurines to mimic human voices, preying on their loneliness. The ravens, he confirmed, were its watchful eyes and ears. A cold sweat slicked my skin. Relief at escaping the Kalapalik's clutches quickly turned to a chilling realization. The entity wouldn't remain dormant. It would continue to lure and torment others, its hunger growing with each failed capture. The rangers, fueled by my account, decided to mount an expedition into the Whispering Woods. Their mission, to find the clearing and destroy the symbols, severing the Kalapalik's connection to the world. I volunteered to be their guide, a decision fueled by a mix of survivor's guilt and a desperate need to stop the entity. The journey back into the forest was fraught with tension. The symphony of clicks and chirps seemed amplified, the air thick with an unseen malevolence. We finally reached the clearing, the monstrous spruce standing sentinel. As the rangers approached the carvings, the ground began to tremble. From the depths of the forest emerged the Kalapalik, a monstrous humanoid figure shrouded in shadow, its eyes glowing with an infernal light. The ravens cawed, a discordant chorus filling the air. A desperate battle ensued. The rangers, armed with knowledge passed down from generations of battling the wilderness darkness, used flares and ancient chants to weaken the creature. The Kalapalik shrieked in rage, its dark form writhing in an unseen struggle. With a final, earth-shaking tremor, the rangers managed to shatter the carvings on the spruce. The Kalapalik howled in fury, its form dissolving into a cloud of inky darkness that was sucked back into the earth. Silence descended upon the clearing, a heavy, oppressive silence. The rangers, shaken but victorious, collapsed onto the damp earth. I stared at the spot where the monstrous entity had vanished, a chilling certainty settling in my gut. The Kalapalik wasn't truly gone. It might slumber, its hunger satiated for now, but it wouldn't be forgotten. The Whispering Woods would forever hold the echo of its presence, a warning against the dangers of solitude and the malevolent forces that lurk within the shadows of the wild. We returned to the ranger station, heroes in a silent war against the unknown. News of our encounter spread through the Park Service, serving as a cautionary tale for other hikers venturing into remote areas. But for me, the nightmares persisted. The Kalapalik's glowing eyes, the unsettling clicks of the unseen watchers, the bone-white figurines, they haunted my sleep, a constant reminder of the horror I'd barely escaped. Months passed. I tried to return to my normal life, the bustling city a stark contrast to the quiet menace of the Alaskan wilderness. But the experience had changed me. The once invigorating solitude now felt like a dark, forbidden path. One day, a news report from Denali National Park flickered across the screen. A group of hikers had gone missing in a remote area, an area suspiciously close to the Whispering Woods. Panic clawed at me. I knew what had happened. The rangers wouldn't believe a single backpacker's tale of a monstrous entity, especially with no physical evidence. But I couldn't stay silent. Haunted by the thought of innocent lives hanging in the balance, I reached out to the older ranger who had led the expedition into the Whispering Woods. He listened patiently to my story, a grim understanding etched on his weathered face. He knew the legend of the Kalapalik, knew the whispers about its cyclical hunger. He promised to investigate my claims discreetly, using his knowledge and experience to guide a search party. Days turned into agonizing weeks. Finally, news arrived. The search party had found the missing hikers, shaken but unharmed. They had stumbled upon the clearing, the monstrous spruce with its shattered carvings a chilling reminder. The rangers, using the information I provided, had managed to warn the hikers about the dangers of the area. Relief washed over me, bittersweet and tinged with a sense of responsibility. I would never forget the horrors of the Whispering Woods, the brush with a malevolent entity that lurks just beyond the veil of our world. But I had also played a part in saving lives, a testament to the power of knowledge and the courage to speak out against the unseen. The Kalapalik may slumber for now, but it's a slumber that won't last forever. The Whispering Woods remain a silent sentinel, a chilling reminder that the wilderness holds secrets best left undisturbed. And I, forever an unwilling participant in this ancient struggle, carry the burden of that knowledge, a silent guardian against the darkness that waits for its chance to rise again.